Hello everyone, a very pleasant day to you. President Tinubu honors fallen heroes, reaffirms support for armed forces. Vice President Shettima, Senate President Akpabio orders dignitaries commemorate Armed Forces Remembrance Day. And former Vice President Atiku's son defects to APC, pledges support for President Tinubu's second term. A very good day to you and welcome to First Nest News Port Harcourt. I am Becky Usoro. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has honored Nigerians' fallen heroes and reaffirmed his support for the armed forces as the country marks the Armed Forces Remembrance and Celebration Day. In a personal statement, President Tinubu remembered the brave men and women of the Nigerian armed forces who sacrificed everything for the nation. The president paid tribute to the families of the fallen heroes, acknowledging their loss and assuring them that the nation will never forget the sacrifices made by their loved ones. While celebrating members of the armed forces still in active service for the discipline, courage, and professionalism, President Tinubu reaffirmed his commitment to their welfare and dignity. Moving on, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day Parade and wreath-laying ceremony took place at the National Arcade in Abuja. Vice President Kashim Shettima, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Deputy Senate President Benjamin Kalu, Minister of Defense Christopher Musa, and other dignitaries attended the event. The dignitaries were led to the cenotaph in a solemn march by soldiers, where they laid a wreath in remembrance of the fallen heroes who gave their lives in service to the nation. Prayers are also conducted for the living and fallen heroes who fought gallantly for global peace and national integration. The prayers were led by the Director of Chaplain Services, Protestant Army Colonel Reverend B.P. Iyam, followed by the Director of Air Force Islamic Affairs, Group Captain H. Idris, and finally the Director of Chaplain Services, Roman Catholic Navy Captain, Very Reverend Father R.C. Diala. Following the prayers, a minute of silence observed in honor of the fallen heroes, immediately followed by the firing of the artillery gun. The wreath-laying ceremony, which involves the placing of flowers at the memorial site, then commenced at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Leading the wreath-laying ceremony was Vice President Kashim Shettima, who solemnly proceeded to lay the wreaths, accompanied by Commander of the Guards Brigade, Brigadier General Adebisi Onasanya. Next to lay wreaths were the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the Deputy Speaker of the House Representative, Benjamin Kalu. Following them, the Chief Justice of Nigerian Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun led her wreaths, immediately succeeded by the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, and the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Abbas Salahidin, High Commissioner of the Republic of Cameroon. Away from that story, the federal government says it will move to support farmers after food prices fell below production costs in some cases, raising concerns about the sustainability of food production and future supply. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wali Edun, disclosed this while delivering a keynote address at the launch of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group NESG 2026 Macroeconomic Outlook Report in Lagos. According to him, the 2026 priorities include boosting competitiveness, ensuring good governance, increasing agriculture productivity and food security, and urgently supporting farmers and whose costs exceed some food prices, while also accelerating infrastructure, energy, and human capital development. The intervention comes as food inflation and headline inflation have continued to ease following months of tight monetary policy and supply-side reforms. While lower food prices have brought relief to consumers, Mr. Edun warned that prices falling below farmers' costs could discourage production if not addressed, potentially reversing recent gains in food availability and price stability. He said the government's focus was to strike a balance between affordability for consumers and incentives for producers, especially smallholder farmers. Away from that story, Justice Chizoba Oji of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has struck out the defamation case against Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, filed by the federal government. Justice Oji struck out the suit following an application by the prosecution lawyer Aderonke Imana to discontinue the case. Counsel to Natasha, West Idahusa, subsequently moved for the matter to be struck out following the prosecution's application for discontinuance. He also urged the court to release all documents belonging to the defendant and her sureties. The prosecution counsel did not oppose the application made by the defense counsel for the matter to be struck out. In a short ruling, Justice Chizoba Oji struck out the suit and discharged the sureties. She also ordered that all their documents be returned to them. Away from that story, lawyer to the second defendant, Henry Omole, in the ongoing trial of former Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, has alleged that Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC attempted to coerce his client into implicating the former Apex Bank chief. The lawyer, Nnamdi Ofial, made a claim while testifying in a trial within trial ordered by Justice Rahman Oshodi to determine the voluntariness of Omole's statement to the EFCC. Though another cross-examination by the prosecution counsel Rotimi Oyedepo-San, Ofial admitted that Omole was cautioned in his presence and signed a cautionary statement. He told the court that investigators made several promises to his client in a bid to secure incriminating evidence against Emefiele. Emefiele and Omole are standing trial on charges of accepting gratification, receiving gifts through agents, corruption, and fraudulent receipt of property. The EFCC also alleged that the defendants confirmed corrupt advantage on their associates, contrary to the Corrupt Practices Act 2000, as both defendants pleaded not guilty. Moving on, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), Dr. Emomotimi Agama, has called for deeper collaboration between the Commission and the Nigerian Police Force to effectively combat cybercrime and other financial offenses strengthening Nigerians' capital markets. Agama made a call during a courtesy visit to the Nigerian Police Force headquarters in Abuja, where he led members of the SEC management team to a meeting with Inspector General Police IGP Kayode Betokun. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyi. The meeting provided a platform for both institutions to reaffirm their shared commitment to interagency cooperation aimed at strengthening national security, economic stability, and investor confidence in the country's financial system. Speaking at the meeting, the SEC Director General commended the Nigerian Police Force for its sustained efforts in maintaining law and order nationwide, as well as its continued support to the Commission in the execution of its regulatory and enforcement mandates. He specifically praised the professionalism and responsiveness of the force in handling matters related to capital market infractions and financial crimes. Agama further expressed the Commission's intention to deepen its partnership with the police, particularly through enhanced engagements with the Nigerian Police Force National Cybercrime Center, NPF to NCC. Moving on, the Nigerian Legion, in collaborating with the federal government to establish affordable housing estate for military veterans as part of efforts to ensure a smooth and dignified transition from active service to retirement. The initiative was aimed at ensuring that no retired personnel were left without a home after years of dedicated service to the nation. The National Chairman of the Legion, Grace Henry, who disclosed this while speaking to newsmen on the sidelines of the wreath-laying ceremony to mark the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, held in Abuja, says the initiative was aimed at ensuring that no retired personnel were left without a home after years of dedicated service to the nation. Harris said that the welfare conditions for veterans and widows had improved in recent months, noting that pension payments were now more regular, leading to a significant reduction in the street protests by retired personnel. She described the Armed Forces Celebration on Remembrance Day as a comprehensive initiative that honored fallen heroes while also celebrating serving and retired personnel. Harris said the expansion of the former Armed Forces Remembrance Day into a week-long celebration had helped to deepen public awareness of the sacrifices of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the need for sustained support of their families. In another development, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations (NIPR) has defended the federal government's decision to engage foreign lobbyists, insisting that lobbying is a lawful and globally accepted practice, not a criminal act. NIPR President Dr. Ike Neliako made the clarification in Abuja at the official presentation of the Made in Nigerian Reputation Perception Index Report 2025. This comes amid public outrage over the federal government's reported $9 million contract with the United States-based lobbying firm. The government, through Kaduna-based law firm Asta Legal, hired DCR Group, an American public affairs and lobbying firm, to help communicate Nigerians' efforts at protecting Christian communities and sustaining U.S. support in countering jihadist groups and other destabilizing elements in West Africa. Documents filed by the U.S. Department of Justice under the Foreign Agents Registration Act show that the contract signed on December 17, 2025 was executed on behalf of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. Moving on, founder of a version magazine, Dele Momodu, in Benin City has officially defected to the African Democratic Congress ADC, where he pledged to work with like-minded Nigerians to rescue and reposition the country. He said his decision to join the ADC was not driven by personal political ambition, but by a desire to contribute to national renewal. Momodu said he has no intention of contesting for any elective office, but is committed to helping to right the wrongs in the nation. According to him, the task requires the total commitment of the majority of Nigerians who refuse to be enslaved in their own country. Moving on, Abubakar Atiku Abubakar, son of former Vice President and 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has defected from the PDP to the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), pledging to work for the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. The defection, which has sent ripples across Nigeria's political landscape, was formally announced on Thursday at the National Assembly, where Abubakar, popularly known as Abba, was received by the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barua Jibrin. APC Kano North, alongside APC leaders from the Northeast geopolitical zone. Speaking at the event, Abba announced his resignation from the PDP and declared his full alignment with the APC, describing the decision as both personal and historic. He also directed all coordinators and members of his political structure, formerly known as the Haske Atiku organization founded in 2022, to immediately join the APC and support President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. He attributed his decision to what he described as the outstanding leadership style of Senator Barua Jibrin and the performance of the Tinubu administration. In another development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his commitment to supporting initiatives that promote Nigerians' culture and empower creative talents, highlighting the growing influence of the country's music and entertainment industry on the continent. The president made remarks by congratulating Nigerian artists who excelled at the 9th All-African Music Awards, AFRIMA, held in Lagos State, the official host city designated by the African Union Commission. The president praised the winners for projecting Nigerians' culture, amplifying the voices of young people and strengthening the country's creative identity. He urged them to continue using their talents to inspire unity, hope, and national pride by contributing to the growth of the creative economy. We now move on to the foreign scene. A small French military contingent has arrived in Greenland's capital, Nuuk, as several European states have deployed small numbers in a reconnaissance mission. The limited deployment, which also involves Germany, Sweden, Norway, Finland, the Netherlands, and the UK, comes as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to press his claim to the Arctic island, which is a semi-autonomous part of Denmark. French President Emmanuel Macron said the initial contingent would be reinforced soon with land, air, and sea assets. Senior diplomat Olivia Poivre d'Avaux saw the mission as sending a strong political signal. Poivre d'Avaux said the initial French deployment involved 15 people, hours after Denmark and Greenland's foreign ministers traveled to Washington for a meeting with the U.S. President J.D. Vance. That's all on the news. I am Becky Usoro from I and the entire team in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.